Hello everyone, my name is Rick Riddle. I'd like to take a few minutes to go over the stock game part of the class, right? It's a separate video because it takes a few minutes to go over this, right? So there is a link right over here. You need to copy and paste this to get into the stock game. It's going to ask you to register, and it's going to give you this information. The name of the game is the Franklin Pierce Economics for Managers Spring 2023 game, a start date of March 6th and an end date of March 19th. You are allowed to invest only in publicly traded common stocks that have a minimum price of $1 per share. No bonds, no mutual funds, no exchange traded funds, no composite indexes, nothing like that. No buying on margin, no selling short, right? All of your stocks basically need to be traded on one of the organized exchanges. That is the New York Stock Exchange, the American Stock Exchange, or the NASDAQ, right? I'm going to go over a little bit more in a couple of minutes here because there's an additional requirement on that as well, right? You have $100,000 worth of imaginary cash to invest. You must invest the full $100,000 to leave not more than a balance of $1,000 worth of cash at any point in time during the class. That being said, for example, if you sell one of your stocks during the course of a term because it's doing poorly, then you need to reinvest the proceeds of that so that you have less than $1,000 worth of cash basically within the next day or two following. Right? Note that I can't basically help you in terms of the stock game. If you have any problems, I'm just an observer on here. Don't email me. I can't help you. Right? What I would suggest is if you have problems, try clearing your cache. Don't use your phone. Use a computer only. Try a different browser. If that doesn't work, you might even try doing a different computer or going in the following day. So if you wait until Wednesday of week number 2, which is basically when your portfolio needs to be fully invested in order to do any investments, well, you might have a problem there, right? If the homework for week number 2 is going to include a summary of what your stock game portfolio is, basically a table that I will give you to complete and copy into your homework, as well as a screen print that shows that you're from the market game that shows that your cash balance is down to $1,000 or less, right? Again, the initial investment amount is $100,000. It should allow you to invest partial shares, no cash except only a few $100s, no more than $1,000. Short selling and buying on margin is not allowed. No bonds, no mutual funds, no exchange traded funds. Only stocks traded on the NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, or the American Stock Exchange are allowed. If you have any questions, you need to do your research on this, where these stocks are traded, right? You must purchase shares in 4 to 6 companies. That means a minimum of 4 companies and a maximum of 6 companies, and they must all be in different industries. So you need to be diversified. That means that if you have one defense stock, you can't have another defense stock. At least 2 of the companies that you purchase must be part of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, right? So if you want to know what's in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, if you do a little bit of research, you'll find out what the 30 companies are that make up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So if I go over here, if I go into the Motley Fool website, he will show me what the stocks are that make up the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So I did basically a Googled on the New York Stock Exchange and the stocks that make up the stocks that make up the Dow Jones Industrial Average, not the New York Stock Exchange, but the stocks that make up the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and I got those listing of 30 stocks. And they're listed here in alphabetical order. They go from American Express, and then the 30th one is Walt Disney. So it includes basically not necessarily the largest companies, but companies that are supposed to be representative of the U.S. economy. All right, so let me go back again to the stock game requirements here. So again, 4 to 6 companies only, maximum of 6, minimum of 4, all different industries. No more than $33,333 in any one of your companies. As such, then you will be diversified. I suggest basically close to investing the same amount of money in each different stock. Now, sometimes what happens is students will invest in 5 companies, then they'll still have $1,200 or $1,300 worth of stock, and so they have to invest like 1 or 2 or 5 shares or something that basically represents a few $100s or $1,000 in a 6th company, which is totally fine. Just no company more than $33,333. Again, the maximum cash balance is $1,000. I can't help you. You're not going to be graded on how well your stocks are doing. You're going to be graded on how well you follow the stocks. And the reason why you're picking at least two of the companies in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, because those are companies that are large enough to have some kind of news items over the course of the term, because you will be following news items every single week and documenting them, what happened to this company, what happened in the general economy, and document how these events affected the company's stock prices. So, for example, it might be that the company became party to a lawsuit, or the company is going to merge with another company, something like that, or that the United States is sending some more tanks to the Ukraine, and therefore the company that manufactures the tank, their stocks are going to go up as well. So that would be an outside item that affect the value of the company's stock. But for example, it would not affect a company that's not in the defense industry, like Procter & Gamble, for example, would not be affected. But Procter & Gamble, if that was one of my companies, it might be something related to a lawsuit from the FDA, a new product or something like that, that would be some kind of an internal type of an item. So internal and external items, documenting those, researching those on a weekly basis, right? There shouldn't be any commission charges in the game. Now, I've seen where a few times where the stock game charged people $10. I can't really make any changes. Again, I'm just an observer on here. Keep notes every single week about how the individual stocks did. I will publish on the website what the stock portfolio values are for each different student. And you basically, what you're going to do is you're going to be tracking those over the course of the term. At the end of the term, you're going to include your initial project portfolio, how well it performed from week to week. So, for example, I would suggest a graph, for example, of what your total ending market value of your portfolio is for every single week. We're going to have notes why you chose the individual stocks you purchased, why you made any trades you did, or if you didn't make any trades, you're not required to do any, why you did not make any trades, and then probably how well your stock portfolio performed overall versus a broader benchmark. So, for example, you're going to be comparing your stock versus either the Standard & Poor's 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the NASDAQ average over the course of the term. So that basically means is you're going to go out and figure out what the percentage change is from the day that you made your initial portfolio investment to the end of the term when you took your actual final numbers, and compute the percentage change for your portfolio and the same percentage change for one of the indexes over the same course of the term as well. All right. You should include graphs and charts in your portfolio. Those would be only those that you make up yourself. If you copy and paste charts from another website, you will actually lose points on your final grade. I don't want to see anything copied and pasted. Nobody learns anything from copying and pasting something. A lot of students think they make a really impressive chart project by doing a lot of copying and pasted images. I don't think it's very good. I will not give you good grade for doing something like that. I will give you a much better grade from fairly simple tables that basically show you did some work and you actually analyze what the importance is of the information that you're presenting, right? You're not graded on how well your portfolio performs, but how well you follow the instructions, analyze the results, relate the information to course material, and document what you actually did during the course of the term. If you made no trades, explain why you didn't make any trades. Right. So again, part of your assignment for week number 2 is to include a summary of what the 4 to 6 stocks are that make up your portfolio. And then in your assignment for week number 6 is going to be 2 to 4 pages, and that's going to be a portfolio update that includes a table representing your portfolio, notes as to why you invested in the stocks that you originally did, and then the notes that you've been taking so far through the middle of the term about what the individual stocks, what happened to the individual companies in terms of economic events, internal and external, and how they affected the prices of those stocks, right? Those notes should be the event as well as any changes in the stock itself. Your final paper should be a single-spaced document, probably 8 to 12 pages. That's not any maximum, not any minimum, but I don't want a 35-page or 40 or 50-page document, and I don't want anybody to think they can turn in 3 or 4 pages and that's going to be sufficient, right? So let's go over to the StockGain website and let me show you what that's going to look like. So what I've done is I have registered myself in the StockGain website. So you can actually going to join the game here. So join the game. And so I'm already registered, so I'm going to be joining the game. All right. All right, now what I'm going to do is if I have a company that I'm interested in investing in, so I'm going to type in here a search symbol for the trade. I'm going to type in, this is one I'm always like to look at, Procter & Gamble. And one of the things I like about Procter & Gamble is that it's part of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So if I do a search on this one and it doesn't like this, so change this to, so it likes PG, so I'm going to take PG, which is a Procter & Gamble company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit trade now, and I'm going to hit buy. And right now it's listed to buy only one share. So if I drag this little slider over here, I'm going to be buying more than one share. And it actually did give me what the stock price was. So if I go back to see quote, $140.65 per share. So if I buy, for example, 10 shares, it's going to be $1,400, right? Or I could buy 100 shares. So if I buy 100 shares, it's going to be a little over $14,000. So I got 101 shares. I'm going to submit my order. And now I'm going to view my portfolio, and I'm going to have something that's pending, basically. It still tells me that I have $100,000 remaining because it actually hasn't executed the order. But what's happened is my buying power has been reduced by the 101 shares at the $140.65 per share. So I only have left buying power of $85,802.43. So hopefully that makes some sense to everybody. All right, so let's see. We have a few more minutes left, I believe. Here, so let's go over to, let me do a Google search here. And I'm going to search Dow Jones Industrial Average. And what it does is it brought up a graph for me for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And if I wanted the graph from a certain period of time, I would pick a certain amount of time, like 6 months, say, for example. And if I wanted the date from December 31st, I would mouse over here on the Dow Jones Industrial Average and find my December 31st date. And it's going to be the closest business date to December 31st, which is going to be December 30th. So December 30th, whoops. Dow Jones Industrial Average had a value of 33,147.25. So if that was the beginning of my stock game, that would be my starting point in terms of calculating percentage change. And if my ending point was going to be today's date, my ending point would be 33,978. Take the difference between those two numbers, that would be the change in the portfolio value, and divide that by the beginning amount, which we said was 33,136.37. All right. And again, you're going to be comparing your stock performance versus the overall benchmark, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, or the NASDAQ, or the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 is basically a broader index because it includes 500 different companies that make not the largest 500 pretty much that make up the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow Jones is only 30, but it's basically the largest 30 companies, and it's basically diversified. The NASDAQ is a more tech-related portfolio, so it's a little bit different. It's not going to be as representative of the overall market economy. All right, hopefully that's helpful to everybody, and we're going to finish up with our portfolio items now, video right now. Thank you very much.